Josh Drive Hayes clip channel.
Oh, what's up? What's your Winter Soldier rating? Every movie with Cap in it is at least a 9 out of 10, okay? Bloop. Okay, what's going on with this dude?
Channel is Josh Drive Hayes clip channel is suspended for a minimum of 115 days with no clear reason from YouTube that would make any sense at least. So I'm Visa and I run the Josh Drive Hayes clip channel, and yeah, it got suspended from the YouTube Partner Program, which is the program that allows you to generate revenue from the videos you publish on YouTube. And
oh, hey, that's like my channel.
15 days, we are not able to generate any revenue for Josh or me through the Twitch highlight videos. So let's go through this. I'm gonna explain what caused all of this, and hopefully somebody will be able to help me out with this, because it's going to be a really rough time for waiting for this long. So on 8th of June 2024, I started a secondary channel, which is both.
Are you planning to discuss the Professor Dave video with that Pangburn guy that's been combing through it? I don't know what there is to discuss. It's a slappa it's a slappa video. What do you want me to say? It's retarded.
Clips. Bodhi is an old school RuneScape streamer, and I decided to start that channel up because Josh Drive Hayes wasn't streaming that much at the time, and I just wanted to have another project to work on. And I really like to make the highlight videos. I like to cut clips and just maximize the reach for a streamer from the existing live stream content. And yeah, I thought Bodhi would be really good example of this. I wanted to give it a try because there wasn't really many old school RuneScape Twitch clips going on at the time. I got in direct contact with Bodhi when there was any issues with the videos being uploaded, but yeah, other than that, there wasn't any claims or anything like that where Bodhi would say that, or his team, that they would want the channel to be taken down or anything like that, because I've always been with even Josh Drive Says the clip channel. Even with that, I've always been like open to shut down the channel, delete the videos and everything like that on just one single message, and I've kept that with both the clips as well, because I don't want to hurt anybody's brand or anything like that. I just want to serve the community, because it's a really good service to clip the streams into bites that you can watch even when you're employed or stuff like that.
What the fuck is this video?
Not many people have time to tune into the 8-hour live streams on daily basis, so that's why I think this is a good service for everyone. It gives reach and it makes...
Okay, well, that guy got banned. I think it's bad. We don't know why. Okay, this... Why did you click it? I don't know. Somebody linked it to me. Scott Galloway got doxxed? Damn, they got evil pictures of Mamdani on Fox News. Holy shit. Is this video related to the...
Taken it pretty far, but look, I don't know if it's an invitation to physical violence. I think he's taken it pretty far, but I would say that the way that it was framed was shaming people for being successful, which is a fundamental problem. And I do think highlighting that the majority of those residences are vacant for the majority of the year and giving their addresses is not productive from a safety standpoint. So I don't know if he was inviting it. I just think it wasn't smart.
You know, watching this King Griffin moment where there's been some Democrats who have suggested to us here that maybe he wanted a mulligan on that. Maybe that went a little bit too far even for Mayor Mamdani. Well, on this, Mamdani was asked if he thinks there could have been a better way to release these names and lists. Listen.
What we did is following through with the law as it stands, and it's what localities do across the state, and it's also what the city has done. And we also know that when we do that, sometimes there are many people for whom it might be their first time in engaging with what the city is is delivering on an annual basis.
To me, that's just a lot of words. I don't know.
So that's not entirely accurate because
Wait, that
is public information. That part is true. How it was framed in a tweet saying, if you're wealthy, you have mail. Check your mailbox. It was framed in a way as if those people have done something wrong. So it was aggregated in a different form. Yes, it's public, but the way it was presented was in certainly a negative way.
Has there always been like some state tax list or? Scott Galloway. Is this like on a dedicated show on his channel or? Okay, don't care. Pivot podcast? Wait, link if you have a link to it or whatever. A short?
Hi, everyone. This is Pivot from New York Magazine and the Vox Media Podcast Network. I'm Kara Swisher.
And I've been doxxed.
You've been doxxed.
I don't know if you've heard, but Mayor Mamdani has decided to release a list of the 950,000 residences with addresses and names that might. I do have another tagline for Facebook.
Okay.
Meta, ignore the smell coming from the basement.
Hi, everyone. This is Pivot from New York Magazine and the Vox Media Podcast Network. I'm Kara Swisher.
And I've been doxxed.
You've been doxxed. What? Tell me.
So I don't know if you've heard, but Mayor Mamdani has decided to release a list of the 950,000 residences with addresses and names that might be eligible for his pied-à-terre tax.
Yeah. And? This is from the Wall Street Journal. This is a story. Explain it. Do you want me to explain it? Let me read from the Wall Street Journal. Mamdani's administration fired a warning shot last week when it published an online list of property owners that might be subject to a surcharge of luxury second homes. The list includes owners' names, addresses, and market value of properties. The release list threatens to stir up existing tensions between the mayor and the city's elite. The city has also been sending out notifications to homeowners they might be subject to the new tax. If you have a second home in New York worth more than $5 million, check your mailbox when you're back in the 5 boroughs, because you've got mail, the mayor said in a post on social media. I assume I am not. I have an apartment here, but I don't. I'm well below that number. What do you? I don't love this. I can't say I love this. It feels like a little bit like doxing. Just tax them and get on with it. Is my feeling. That's how I feel.
Here's the definition of doxing.
I hate that, like, doxing dude, the real life shit is crossing over into the online shit, or the online shit of the real life shit so fucking annoyingly now. It's like names and shit. Like, if there's public interest, there's public interest. I don't know. Just calling everything doxing is weird. That being said, if I'm not just like posting public names of people that have certain property in the city, I mean, that is kind of weird. I don't know why you would do that, but
Doxing.
Okay.
Doxing is publishing private identifying information to expose someone to publicly pressure or harm without their consent. Tied to status, the publisher's disapproval, swap elite for any other disavowed group, and nobody's calling this a tax roll. I'm a fan of this tax. I was supportive of it.
Yep.
Rich absenteeism should subsidize a nurse in the Bronx paying 40% of her income on rent. I came out in favor of this tax. This is the definition. He's taken a legitimate source of tax revenue and he's turning it into a wanted poster. And the question I would have is, other than trying to identify and imply these people have done something wrong, and then 18 months after a healthcare CEO was executed in the street and then published the list, what is the upside here? Why is he doing this?
There's two things. I think he's been largely successful, but there's two things that I think are real misses, and they're both, well, they're not related. They are related in some way. One is this luxury tax. They should not have focused on Ken Griffin. I understand if they got it passed. Hochul agreed to do it. Just tax people. That's it. That should be it. It got passed. The leader going to be mad about it. Some are, some aren't, like you. and then just tax them. This was a big mistake to try to put targets on these people. I find it really disturbing. The second thing was, even though I agree with problems with Benjamin Netanyahu, to say you're going to want to arrest him seems ridiculous because it's not your job, right? It's not. I get why you might say I don't like him and I wish I could arrest him, but it was sort of weird. I thought it was a another weird flex about which is not his job, and so in this case, I think he's going to piss off the elite anyway, or many of them, not all of them, over this tax. I don't know why he would. These records are public, I believe, but why call attention to them? Correct? Is that I can look up any home if you know the address, essentially, but maybe not who's here as a second home. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I'll just touch on the him.
Yeah, that's really weird if that is the case. What did they just like publish a data, like a public thing with? Can somebody link this thing? Yeah, somebody in chat, find me a link to this. What exactly is this? Oh, supplemental role. I don't know what. Oh, download all NYC. Okay, I don't know why I clicked that guy's link. Never mind. Okay.
Saying he would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. He basically, the justification was that he's been convicted in the International Criminal Court.
Right. Mm-hmm.
There are dozens, if not hundreds, of people who have convicted in the International Criminal Court, but he's decided to announce he's arresting the Jew.
Well, I'm not sure. Okay.
Okay. Who else has he announced he's arresting?
He hasn't. He shouldn't have done this. I said he shouldn't have done it. I think it's.
So you and I are in violent agreement on this.
Yeah,
and when he's decided, he's not only playing into the worst fears about him, but he's making it harder for all progressives. I believe in a progressive tax structure. I believe we should raise tax rates. And the Republicans, in order to create deficits and continue to transfer money from the poor to the rich, they argue that progressive tax structures are persecution. And this plays exactly into that entire narrative. And let me, of course, I never miss an excuse to talk about myself. I left San Francisco in 2000 because I thought I was going to be rich. Red Envelope was going public, and I thought, what do I want to do with my life? And I thought, I want to teach, and I want to live in New York. New York is the greatest collision of proximity, humanity, culture, creativity, weirdness. And I'm like, I want that.
Yes, you said that. Yeah, you love the city.
And I moved there in 2000. I was not rich. And I worked my ass off in New York, and I decided, you know what? I can't afford to live here. And I moved to Florida. But I decided I'm going to start a business intelligence firm called L2. And I started it in New York because A, it's an amazing place to start a business, and B, I always wanted to have a foot in New York. I started L2 in 2010. I sold it in 2017, and I've spent a bunch of time this morning trying to figure out what are the taxes, not the federal taxes, but the state franchise tax, real estate taxes, payroll taxes paid by L2 from 2010 to present to New York City and state. And it's about $51 million. The average, in other words, L2 is paying for what one of the largest firehouses in downtown, the budget for one of the largest firehouses in downtown Manhattan is $26 million a year. And but quite frankly, what he's saying is, okay, and when I sold my company in 2017, I was living in faculty housing. My dean called me and said, congratulations, I just saw you sold it for this. You need to move out of faculty housing, which was fair.
Right, and you bought your apartment, yes.
And I bought an apartment. And now when he starts putting, quite frankly, when he starts putting a target, he's implying we've done something wrong. He's implying that we're guilty of something.
Yeah. He should just take the tax. I would agree with you.
There's no, they have the tax rolls. They don't need this for tax reasons. As a matter of fact, if Amazon released
He's mad.
a list of 1 million names and said these people actually owe taxes or they've done something wrong or they're implied something bad about them, and it had a 95% error rate, the same attorney general under Mamdani would be issuing subpoenas right now.
Right, yeah. I don't
this
know
is this plays into
it's doxing.
This is plain, and like he's implying we've done something wrong because we're successful.
Right.
No,
I agree.
New York is
agree.
New York is the last place you want to demonize success.
Yeah.
The reason people move to New York is they think, I want to be successful on Broadway. I want to be successful in business. I want to be successful in the arts. And no one's going to get in my fucking way if I'm really talented and work hard. We're going to celebrate it. We're not going to put a big R on your door and say you've done something wrong because you're successful.
Yeah, I don't know quite why he did it since he got the tax. The tax was going through. He's seeing some polling where it's not. He's already won, and I'm not sure why he's doubling down with a losing move. It's bizarre. I find that bizarre. And in a time when people's public information, even if it's public, to call attention to it when you're so prominent is a real problem. I mean, we all complain about Facebook and others using our information, and justifiably. To do this is very similar. It feels very creepy. It feels very surveillance. It feels very, even if you don't like Ken Griffin, even if you don't like all these.
The Ken Griffin thing, I think, was somewhat justifiable in terms of like noteworthiness, because my understanding was that idol unit, was the most expensive piece of property, I think, in the world. Is my understanding. Literally the most expensive piece of property in the world. So I can understand the newsworthiness of that. Is there like a statement or anything about Mamdani talking about this list? Is this like, are we falling for fake news or? Because I am curious, like, what actually was published or whatever.
Rich people lording it over New York. They should pay their taxes. And that's that. It should be that's that. And it seems really unusually pugnacious toward.
Let's see. Mamdani's administration fired a warning shot last week when it published an online list of property owners who might be subject to the surcharge on luxury second homes. The list includes owners' names, addresses, and market values of property. Where was this list released? I linked it to you. What, you linked me? This is a massive... I have no idea how to navigate this or what I'm even looking for here. Is this... I don't even know what to... I have no idea what this is. What part of this am I clicking for tax records or for... Supplemental market value roll. And then what do I click? Record layout? No, tax class 1 or 2. Oh. Oh, I see. I gotcha. Weird.
I don't understand. I was sort of shocked by this story, and I'm going to wait for more reporting on this. But it seems ridiculous to call attention to it when it's people you want to also stay here and you want to get their taxes. Anyway, I would agree with you, Scott. I don't like it. I don't like it, and people can call us friends of rich people, but it seems unfair on every aspect, not the tax.
95% of the people on the list suppose not going to be subject to the tax. Like
Yeah.
what, other than implying these people have done something wrong and publishing their address without their permission, without their consent, what possible upside is there from publishing this list?
I would like to know what the idea is. It's not a good one. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. I know it's been a tough morning. By the way, I've gotten yelled at by Facebook, and then Ari Emanuel called.
Wow,
me
Joe Bees, thanks for giving 25 subs.
because I didn't like his column. So that was my morning. They didn't like your Jeffrey Dahmer joke. Didn't like it. But let's get to the
I'm
topic.
sorry, Meta called you about something I said?
You know, because it's on social media. All the jokes we made on the last show about you did remarketing. I was like, you know what? We didn't like the Michelle Obama as a man joke, and you didn't object to it enough, or whatever. I just feel like, anyway, let me say, I feel like there's not going to, that they were not happy with our jokes about Mark. But he's still on his AI optimism tour. In an opinion piece in the Wall Street Journal, Zuckerberg asked whether AI will be centralized and restricted to a few institutions or a tool that empowers everyone. His own proposal, he says, is a philosophy based on individual empowerment as a source of prosperity and a balance of power as a foundation of safety. In the piece, which was rather long and in desperate need of editing, Zuckerberg expresses concern that others creating AI talk about it in a way that is filled with doom. He continues this idea in the...
Okay.
I told you all in the intro that I started watching political content and was political very early in my life. I think I was like 12 or 13. And I remember at age 13, because that would be a decade ago, that's when Trump was originally running for president. That's kind of what initially got me into politics. And one of the shows that I used to watch a lot was The Young Turks, TYT, Cenk Uygur. And I loved Cenk's passion, and he wanted progressive policies, and he would call out the dangers of Trump and MAGA. Uh-oh. And then it was clips like this that made me tune out a little bit. And because our political discussion is so unnuanced and brain-wormy, let me just caveat before I play this clip that broke my brain.
Broke his brain.
That it doesn't have to be as simple as someone's either good or evil, okay? Someone can be good on a lot of issues and then make a terrible argument about a dumb take. That's possible. So I'm not declaring like Cenk's my enemy now or something. We are a part of the same coalition. We want strong progressive policies and advocacy, and under the broader, strong liberal umbrella, yes, woohoo. We oppose the horrific actions of the Trump administration, oppose the Iran war, but here he said something that if I didn't know who he was, I would just write him off as a totally irrational right-winger.
Okay.
Or something.
Okay.
I don't know. An irrational someone.
All right.
And it breaks my heart.
Oh, no.
Because as I laid out in the intro, I wish it were as simple as horrendous takes like this only came from the side that I spend most of my time opposing, as opposed to, in broad terms, my side. But that's not the way the world works.
Okay.
Here is liberal pundit Cenk Uygur making the argument that he no longer supports Ukraine, declaring, "I do not support Ukraine," says Cenk. And the reason he cites is because Ukraine has become Israel. And when he said that, I was like, oh my gosh, is there going to be an example of like a Ukrainian war crime I didn't hear about that he's going to reference? No. It's because Ukraine shot at an Iranian ship because Iranian ships have been taking drones to Russia to kill Ukrainians. So how is it not possible to have the nuance that I wish we weren't at war with Iran? That was an insanely bad decision, and we've done terrible things in that context. And
it's good. It's good if people start pushing back. One of the good things about pushing back too is that through some of the fighting, people can start to discover like what's really going on. As much as it hurts to say this, I genuinely think that these people think that people like Cenk or Anna or these leftists like have strong views about supporting Ukraine. I think they think that. I think they genuinely believe like, oh yeah, they definitely would want us to support Ukraine. I think they just want the violence to stop or something. But I I don't know if they have any idea how far gone a lot of these people are.
Ukraine is fighting for their life. And if they want to take out a ship that could be bringing killer drones to their invader, I don't blame them.
By the way, fuck, I should just scream a kick. Ugh, I can't. There's so much shit I want to say about these fuckers, and I feel like I'll get banned. You should be shipped out of the country if you would support the Houthis destroying ships because of Israel, but you wouldn't support Ukraine destroying ships to prevent Iran from shipping shit to Russia. It's inconceivable that you would even dare to have both of those positions, that the Houthis are justified and that Ukraine isn't. That's just wild.
Isn't that simple? Not to Cenk. Let's see.
I'm done officially with supporting the Ukrainians' war. So it's been a long time now. I don't know. They seem like they've been at war for about 18 years now. So the reason I was in favor of it...
It's their fault also, by the way. Why couldn't Ukraine just fucking finish their shit already? God damn it.
Because Russia attacked them. It was definitely Russian aggression. Yes, there were reasons and excuses, etc. Bottom line is, you attack someone like Israel attacks Lebanon. It's Israel's fault. Russia attacks Ukraine. It's Russia's fault.
If you're thinking to yourself right now, wow, I like this show.
Yeah,
Here's what I
am.
want you to do. Click the subscribe button,
What?
completely free right below the video.
Okay.
Drop a comment, click the like button, back to the video.
All right.
So number two, we had promised the Ukrainians defense when we had them give up their nuclear weapons. Okay, but now we've supported you for about 87 years in a row in this war.
It's getting longer.
There's a limit to how long we can go. What if the war goes for 2 centuries? Do we still owe you, right? So now, the second issue is that Ukraine has now become basically Israel. Now, why do I say that? You know, we're a rare show that talks about this phenomenon. It's really important.
Of course.
Remember, Russia was helping Iran and Syria.
Oh, the
Israel
good guys.
needed Russia distracted so they could topple Bashar al-Assad.
Unironically, these guys think those guys are the good guys. So for like Assad, apparently I didn't check her positions, but I saw it said today that al-Sayed is appearing next to people. At least one of the people that is showing up at this progressive rally or whatever has written articles about how Assad didn't commit war crimes. A lot of these people, my guess is, Cenk and Anna are such wild cards sometimes, but it wouldn't surprise me if most of these people don't believe that Assad actually used any chemical weapons. Yeah. But they rarely talk on it, but I'm pretty sure they would believe that was probably like UN mumbo jumbo or shit the U.S. State Department was manufacturing so that we could try to destabilize Syria.
Wait, that happened, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
During the Ukraine-Russia war, and that Iran couldn't be helped when Iran was attacked. Oh, right, that also happened during the Ukraine-Russia war. So Ukraine and Israel working together to keep Russia busy so that Israel can attack its neighbors and take more territory. So before that was apparent to people who were paying attention. Now it's more than apparent, it's obvious because Ukraine is literally joining the war and attacking Iran.
Well, are they?
Okay. Long before our war with Iran, Iran was supporting Russia to murder, slaughter Ukrainian civilians. Cenk.
I was pretty disappointed in your response to the Presser Day video and claims about your ties to Israel. Have you made a broad response to these claims somewhere? No. It's too hard. He got me on the... What do you want me to fucking respond to? There's 50 billion different stupid slop videos on the internet. Nothing I say is going to make a dent in any of the retarded shit that exists on the internet about Israel-Palestine. That's a lost cause, okay? You should hate Israel and just fucking move on with your life, all right? If you're the kind of person who can be convinced by Professor Dave, who's normally a decently intelligent person when it comes to debunking shit, throwing together an hour's worth of TikTok slop videos, why the fuck would I even waste my time trying to convince you of anything? Like, you will always be persuaded by the TikTok slop, okay? Talk to your college professor. Go find somebody in your life to help you sift through information. I don't want to do it. Good luck. Joe Bees, thank you for gifting subs and kick chat, buddy.
You're supposed to care universally, as you proclaim to, about innocent civilians being murdered by invaders. That has been happening long before we got into our war with Iran. Let me go through. Well, first, where I saw this clip, Joshua quoted what Cenk said and then said, doesn't matter Iran sent Russian drones to use against Ukraine, apparently. Doesn't matter Ukraine's fighting for its existence, apparently. Cenk's joining the far right against Ukraine because Ukraine is against Iran. Horseshoe theory remains ironclad. So let me see. First,
like joining the far right against Iran? Like, Oh, against Iran. Wait.
Against Ukraine because Ukraine is against Iran. Horseshoe theory remains.
Horseshoe. I guess I don't know. Fuck foreign. Fuck everything. Fuck this country.
But so let me see. First, he said we've been supporting Ukraine for 87 years, like he's being hyperbolic to say for a long time since the war started in 2022.
Supporting, by the way.
Let me write down team. That's not true. We're not supporting them anymore. Did you not get that update? This would be a slightly different discussion if it were happening in the context of Biden era support. But Trump is not directly supporting Ukraine anymore. So I don't know what that's in reference to. We're not. How long do we have to support it? We're not. Much to the chagrin of me. And then, yes, he's correct that whenever Ukraine gave up their nukes, there was, while not exactly down on paper like we will defend you, there was an understanding that they would be protected. They would have security assurances. And so to see that collapse amid a Russian invasion does give us some moral obligation to go, oh, we negotiated with you to give up the thing that would prevent an invader from ever wanting to invade you. Maybe we'll help you out then because we convinced you to do that. I do want to say, if you're judging the credibility on this issue of Ukraine, different voices, go check on their record on this topic. Because I remember when I was the most cringe YouTuber, when I first started my show in 2022. I started right at the beginning of 2022, making videos that now when I watch, I wince. But the takes were great, but just my delivery was ugh. And I remember saying, it looks like Russia's going to invade when they were amassing troops. And I went and watched TYT, and they were like, this is total propaganda. Russia's not going to invade. Come on. This is just the war machine pounding the drums for war. This is the Biden administration wanting a war to start. Obviously, Russia's not actually going to do that. So from -1 day into the war, they were already wrong. They already had an incorrect geopolitical analysis to inform the view that it was silly that anyone was freaking out that Russia could invade. And then they obviously did, and now we've had years of war. And then it demonstrates a lack of understanding about the Ukrainian relationship with Israel. I saw one person post, Ukraine sent humanitarian aid to Gaza. Iran sent drones to Russia to kill Ukrainians. And then I guess what he's referencing in terms of Ukraine joined the war is this. Wall Street Journal reports, Ukrainian drones have hit military supply lines connecting Russia and Iran through the Caspian Sea, exploiting a new front in two increasingly intertwined wars. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky claimed responsibility for the strike, saying in a tweet Saturday, we also achieved very strong results with long-range strikes in the Caspian Sea, including vessels used in military cargo shipments involving Iran, as well as a warship. So, what was announced that sparked this rant, from all I can tell from Cenk Uygur, is that Ukraine struck an Iranian vessel because said vessels are being used to bring military cargo to Russia. Does that not seem reasonable?
No.
Security Service of Ukraine,
genocide?
intelligence agency said that it launched drone strikes in the Caspian Sea against a Russian oil field, a Russian missile boat, and ships used to transport Iranian drones to Russia. Ships used to transport Iranian drones to Russia. We advocate for innocent civilian life. That's our stance. That's why we care about these topics. But it seems sometimes
Mojo, thank you for giving 5 more subs to the kitchen.
And definitely the far right exclude Ukraine from that analysis. When again, it's an assertion he's making within the context of Trump wildly reducing, if not eliminating, U.S. aid to Ukraine. And then the way that he says, remember this from yesterday's show, talking about the Zelensky-Netanyahu relationship? And then this, look at Netanyahu and Zelensky were both there, and it looks like they had a tense exchange. You have someone on X saying Netanyahu and Zelensky had an apparently tense exchange on the sidelines of Lindsey Graham's funeral. According to Ukrainian sources, they said that Israel rejected the offer of a meeting between the two leaders in Washington. Netanyahu has consistently shown contempt for Zelensky. Adam Kinzinger say this is the fastest way to destroy what little support Netanyahu has left in America. Look at this.
Why do we need the music?
So you get it. I don't know exactly what was being said there, but also interesting. And then Sean Han. So the only area that you could say.
Well, just fucking mute it. I don't need to hear that shit. The audio is bad. It's triggering me.
That a little thread of the argument could be reasonable is I don't doubt that Ukraine is probably pro us being at war with Iran, okay? But that's because Ukraine has a different calculus than us. So I can both say Ukraine is fighting for their life, and in ways that are advantageous to us, we should support them. And then whenever our interests contradict, we say, we differ with you on that. So we didn't have to enter this war. It wasn't Zelensky who convinced Trump into getting into it. But he's probably like, hey, if they're taking out military targets in Iran, that might help us because of how much Iran has helped Russia kill us. But we can say, we support you in all these different ways in your defense of yourself, but we don't want to be in a direct war with Iran. And that stance that Biden had was fine with Zelensky. So if all Cenk was calling out was like Zelensky probably wishes that we would stay in a war with them to deplete their military resources so that they can't give help to Russia, you say that's a reasonable stance from Zelensky based on his interests keeping his country alive. It's not in our interests, and so we will detach from that. We will not engage in that action in a rational world, but instead engage in other ways of supporting Ukraine. But no. Cenk thinks, I guess, that the way he said it was like the entire Ukraine.
Does this guy sound like, I mean this in the nicest way possible, I'm not trying to sound snarky, but a little bit like David Pakman? Joe Bees, thank you for giving 5 more kick subs. Like the cadence a little bit? Am I crazy? Listen for it.
We will not engage in that action in a rational world, but instead engage in other ways of supporting Ukraine. But no. Cenk thinks, I guess, that the way he said it was like the entire 100%. Ukraine war was a way to distract Russia so that Israel could go do all these crazy things. Other question I have, why can't people call out the insanity of the Israeli government without every single geopolitical issue having to connect back to that one?
He's
what
close.
If there is meaning
He's getting there.
outside of just one of the insane governments or insane military actions or whatever?
It's a good question.
That Ukraine could not be a part of that, like, singular issue defining everything foreign policy topic. That Ukraine could literally just be doing whatever it can to stay alive. And people are forgetting about that. I get that we're literally at war ourselves now, so it's difficult to think about a different country, but it's really sad. I told you when I was in Ukraine, one of the main things I heard over and over was not we're doing this for Israel, by the way. It was definitely not that. I heard that from 0 people. I heard, I just want a free country for myself and my family, and I know what Russian military folks do when they occupy, and it's horrific, and we want our independence and our freedom. And a bunch of soldiers told me, I'm willing to die so that my loved ones can have that independence and freedom and not have to be subjected to the horrific things that the Russian military does if they occupy.
Wow, he went to coach them how to commit war crimes?
I also heard, just please, I would say as an American, political pundit, what do you hope that I take away from this? And they would say, just don't forget about us. And it's almost worse than that. Some political pundits on the left, liberals who should care across all issues about suffering innocent civilians.
Why are we hitting on Luke? Do we hate Luke? I don't think we hate Luke. He's just a base lib guy, right?
Are not just forgetting about Ukraine, but turning directly hostile to Ukraine. When again, there's literally no evidence Zelensky would do anything for Netanyahu. But this theory relies on Zelensky continuing or goading Russia into a war so that Israel can do what it wants to do while Russia's distracted. Follow that thread with me.
Follow it.
Also, you could say the Israeli government exploited the circumstances of Russia being distracted because of Russia's own choice. But to say that was the Ukrainian calculus is deranged. And it erases the entire story. That's what revs me up so much. It's not just like an incorrect take. It erases the entire story of Russia's invasion, of that conflict. It flips it to only have to do with
Holy moving camera.
some conspiracy
We got
where Zelensky wants
producers
to
in
help
here.
out Netanyahu.
Oh my God.
When they don't have a good relationship. Zelensky over and over has asked for more help from Israel and has been turned down. And you saw that exchange there. You heard the reporting. The strike that prompted this reaction makes sense given the drones that have been going to Russia to kill. The drones that I saw that I was trying to stay away from while there that killed civilians that were Iranian drones. But no, it's not that. So then you go down the thought tree and say, okay, so explain this to me.
Okay.
Putin didn't want to invade.
Okay.
But Zelensky forced him into it. Woo! Got him to invade. So then a bunch of people Zelensky knows are dying. His country's being destroyed for years. And then he somehow keeps the war going, even though the Russian military is the one doing that, but he's tricking them into it. And then that was all so Israel could do stuff and not have Russian proxies being supported by Russia. And there's no record of a relationship that cozy that would cause that to make any sense. And again, I've seen Cenk has been very passionate against Russia for previous, segments.
You're bad. You're a terrible person. Am I clear enough? Let's go fight. Let's go fight for Ukraine. Let's go fight for each other against these goddamn zealots.
So I know he doesn't want to be a Russian government apologist, but that's what that was. The effect of that theory is to go, Russia doesn't have any agency. This was all done by...
Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
Well, this is weird.
What's up?
He's not blaming Israel and the Jews for everything.
Damn, that's crazy.
Well, shouldn't you talk to him? Shouldn't he be like Adam Mockler and say that, no, it's the Jews' fault for everything and don't ever support a Democrat that supports Israel?
Do you think that's my position?
Well, I don't know. You've never called out Adam Mockler for his fucking anti-Semitic bullshit when Brian Tyler Cohen was promoting this idea that Netanyahu controls the U.S. government, and he, in that talk that he had with Rubio and Trump, he was telling them what to do. He didn't really give much pushback against that. So,
are you sure I didn't literally quote tweet that and say something about it?
What do you mean? He uploaded the fucking short.
Didn't I tweet something with like a screenshot of that saying like, what the fuck are we doing here? I don't think you have any idea how much I call any of these people out, but that's
I saw the little thing.
Wow, Joe Bees, thanks for the 25 unit kick subs and kick chat.
I saw the little thing you mentioned on your live stream too. But the effort you're putting in is pretty fucking minimal when this is kind of a huge issue, don't you think?
No, I don't.
So you're still willing to work with these people. They're promoting the most insane, deranged DSA fucking garbage that you're claiming to be against. And the amount of effort you're putting in is literally like 3 seconds at the beginning of the stream and a tweet that says, "What are we doing here?" And again, I've never seen you criticize Adam Mockler when he's doing the exact shit that you're fucking complaining about, where he's advocating to never vote for a Democratic candidate if they support Israel. You don't think that is shockingly harmful to the Democratic Party when you have people like Adam saying this shit? And you will put, you've never said anything about Adam. You actually defended him when I called you out for...
True.
So you think you should put a little more effort into maybe supporting... What's that guy's name that you're reacting to right now?
Netanyahu?
No, the guy who looks like he's 12 with the Guns N' Roses t-shirt.
Oh, Beasley.
Yeah. Yeah, you think you might want to put a little more effort into supporting people like this who don't spread deranged anti-Semitic conspiracy theories against Jews, and maybe put a lot more effort into criticizing people like Adam Mockler and Brian Tyler Cohen, who are literally supporting the DSA?
Maybe that'd be a good idea. I'll think about that, actually. I never considered that before. Thank you.
You ever considered going on testosterone?
Fuck no.
How come?
Because it would literally be for aesthetic purposes only, and I don't feel like getting on another medication for...
Well, what's your test? What's your test at?
Within healthy reference range, and I don't think I'm symptomatic of low T, so why would I start supplementing a hormone that I feel like I don't need?
Well, you can have physical problems without being symptomatic. You can be below the reference range and not be symptomatic, but still develop health issues from it.
What would the health issues be?
So increased risk of heart disease, prostate cancer, and diabetes, for one thing. And later in life, you're also going to be much more susceptible to osteoporosis.
For increased risk of...
there's plenty of...
How much of that stuff is literally just a correlation with your lean muscle mass versus like...
Well, what do you think testosterone does?
Well,
it has a direct...
Sure,
it has a direct nutrition partitioning effect.
Sure, but I mean... a lot of that stuff sounds like if you're not overweight or obese, my guess is you probably have a similarly low chance of developing diabetes or for cancers or for whatever the third thing was would be my guess.
Well, you're just talking about another confounding variable. Again, low test is its own independent variable. So it's like saying, well, I don't smoke, so I can eat like butter and ham cheese sandwiches. Well, the butter and ham cheese sandwiches
with higher
will contribute to heart
testosterone of the
disease.
same body weight have it's a significantly reduced risk of type 2 diabetes. Okay, I'll look it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
Oh yeah. If you have low testosterone and you're diagnosed as hypogonadal, especially if it's very low, like you're talking like 200 or below, yeah, you're going to have increased risk of things like osteoporosis, diabetes, and heart disease later in life.
Okay. Yeah, if you're hypogonadal, I'm sure, but.
You can be hypogonadal and not be symptomatic. You can have like normal libido and everything.
Okay. Well, I'll look into it, okay?
I'm kind of, like you should look into that because, I don't know, you're a little bit of a beta.
Yeah. Well, we can't all be
you might want to go on more tea so that you can better defend against these DSA fucking commie retards. You're kind of letting them off easy. If you had more testosterone, more of that male ambition and aggression, you'd maybe be better at it.
It is true. I do let these guys get away with a lot, I think. You're right. I'll think about it, okay?
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Wait, did you ever get Dan to respond to your debate?
I added him. I found out what his Discord handle was. I'm waiting for him to add me and then message me back.
Wow, what a little bitch.
Yeah, he's like hiding from me.
Probably. You should call him out publicly on Twitter.
I'm banned on Twitter.
Oh shit, maybe the T was too high.
Well, that was before I was on test. I allegedly threatened a 13-year-old. I didn't know they were 13, but, it happens.
I mean, that's that kid's fault. He shouldn't have been talking shit, I'm guessing, right?
Well, they were talking a lot of shit, believe me.
I do.
But anyway, yeah, tell Dan to add in Discord.
I'll get right on that.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Netanyahu and then Zelensky. It's putting the blame on Zelensky for like being the biggest traitor in the history of the world and starting a war when logistically that doesn't make any sense given what happened to help out a different country and an insane leader. It excuses that the only thing continuing the war right now is that Russia keeps invading. Only thing. The only country in this two-party war that keeps agreeing to peace is Ukraine. Over and over and over again. It is Russia that turns it down over and over and over again. And you're saying that's somehow all a part of a conspiracy because Zelensky's selling out his country. It's sick in the head. And I feel so bad for any of the people that
sick in the head
told me, please don't let your fellow, at least liberals, forget about us. That they could see that. Because again, it's so much worse than just forgetting, but it just like lies, just defamation.
Whoa!
About all of these beautiful souls who are dead because of the Russian invasion. I don't know. I do think this comes down to a lack of political nuance. Like, you call out Netanyahu for not wanting peace, for maneuvering to continue our war because he sees us at war with Iran as in his interest, right? So you call that out. Correct. Good. Then that makes your brain simplify down to any hostility towards Iran must be bad then. Like, you can't both point to the insanity of this war, insanity of Netanyahu.
Okay, I got it.
The Majority Report with Sam.
AFOL.com, promo code TMR10. That's Nutrafol.com.
Oh, wait, that might be better for tomorrow. Vaush hates Clyburn. Uh-oh. The whites are coming.
This is heavily connected to Haley Stevens' campaign because Jim Clyburn just endorsed her. Jim Clyburn is one of the great villains of the Democratic Party, an architect of the employment of IDPOL as a way of distracting from real issues. This ties back to the Congressional Black Caucus, which is it's exactly what it sounds like. Look, I've talked about this a lot before. I've talked about like IDPOL as a weapon here.
I love it. Woo! CBC, Congressional Black Caucus. It is what it sounds like.
It's exactly what it sounds like. Look, I've talked about this a lot before. I've talked about like IDPOL as a weapon here. The important thing is that, as I've said many, many, many times, cultural issues, identity politics has been weaponized by the capital class in an effort to distract people from more fundamental issues. We've talked about this a lot in relation to like worker politics, right?
Black people, you need to shut the fuck up and get back on the socialist train or something.
Existence of slaves in America, black slaves we brought over from Africa, and then they, had sex and had kids here, whatever. Like their existence has been used as a wedge, not only against their own well-being, but against the well-being of the white working class.
Oh my God! What the fuck? Whoo! We're on some Kino Vaush takes now. Oh man! Tell me more, King. Tell me more.
For as long as America has existed. The most obvious examples of this are the competition between sharecroppers and free non-sharecropping farmers. The fact that sharecroppers were subjected to incredibly exploitative employment terms meant that you could undercut non-sharecropping farmers. In the North, unions were busted in part due to a widespread propaganda campaign from capital owners that the white working class should not bump shoulders with blacks, Irish, Italians, and so on when forming unions. That it denigrated the ability for white workers to negotiate for their well-being and for their pay raises by joining organizations that were so low they would accept blacks, Italians, Irish, so on and so forth. The most common modern version of this is the complaint that Hispanics are taking our jobs when, if wages are low, it's because the capital class is not paying you enough,
Okay.
Always, racism has been a specter weaponized by the capital class in order to serve their interests. The Congressional Black Caucus has done this to a large extent as well.
You know what? I'm hopium, but I'm also secretly mega doomer, okay? Because there's a silver lining, and then there's like the dark times. The silver lining is that these guys can never, ever, ever make it in the Democratic Party. I'm sorry, but dude, these guys are toxic as fuck for black issues. But the mega dark timeline, is that the next primary cycle or the next general election It's fucking AOC versus JD Vance, but JD Vance is like the DSA candidate, and AOC is trying to be like the moderate Dem, and it's like all ogre, and we're just like, U.S. politics is completely fucked. Oh man, because you go back and you listen to the Joe Rogan episode, and Vance hits on all the sloppulous talking points. He gets all of them, and he does them very well. He does them exceptionally well.
Well, as part of a long-running and very recently hyped-up campaign to try to psyop Black American voters into being anti-Palestine and pro-Israel.
You blacks are getting fucking distracted, okay? Listen, I know that you guys think the race matters, okay? But trust me, all right? I remember feeling this way when I was in high school. And I was like, bruh, it's all about the Federal Reserve and class and money. Oh my God, I'm so smart. Ayn Rand. Objectivism. Come on, keep up.
How many times have you guys seen some version of a black Democratic moderate on social media say, why should I care about the Palestinians? What have they done for us?
The black moderates now. Sorry.
I've seen it quite a few times. I think oftentimes these people are paid agitators, but not always. The reason why they're not always paid agitators is because there's been an enormous propaganda campaign to try to turn black Democratic voters into a all-or-nothing wedge candidate issue against which all other minority concerns are secondary. This is made most obvious, in my opinion, in a recent statement from a lovely representative from the South Carolina Democratic Party. Hey, who knows what I'm about to talk about? Does anyone know? Who here knows what I'm about to talk about? I was scathing when I saw this. I was like grinding my teeth when I saw this.
He was like,
nowhere's in the chat.
He was summoning old Vaush, who was about to make an appearance. He was so fucking mad that this fucking Clyburn, the same guy that didn't help Bernie. They've hated him since the Bernie days, by the way, and that's absolutely true. 1 trillion%, by the way.
Nowhere's in the chat. Crockett, I said South Carolina, you fucking idiot. Pay attention to the words that I say. For reasons I'm not going to get into right now because it's a little bit complicated. The gist of it is that the Democratic Party was determining what order to do its primaries in what states, for the 2028 presidential election. Okay. And we went with South Carolina first, even though South Carolina is not a swing state and is not broadly diverse.
They hate it. You know why they hate it? The reason why is because no matter what fucking lies these motherfucking retards tell you, okay, these movements are primarily white college kids, okay? They didn't even know. They don't talk about this, but the DOJ is literally opening investigations right now. I don't know if Blanche announced it yet, but they were opening investigations into the voter rolls in Michigan because they didn't know that they had that many white people. But so many whites were showing up for El Said's rallies. Oh my God, what was that one fucking... I feel like I'm watching... What was that? They couldn't find black people to put behind him? Fuck, where did that thumbnail come from? What? This looks like... It looks like Midsummer. What the fuck? One black, one brown. Can I get one Crayola color here, please? Just one. A tan, at least?
In a way that represents the broader American population. There's a whole bunch of complicated arguments for and against this, but I'm going to boil it down to the statement made from South Carolina Democratic Party Chairwoman Christale Spain. Because the argument was, should South Carolina be first, or should Nevada be first? Here was the argument that
then they hate them both because their candidates get annihilated by black people. That's where every mega progressive person has crashed upon the shores of the black vote, where they have made zero progress. Detroit, by the way, the place that some of the East Coast rappers and gangsters sometimes talk about, and the violence and the horrible, right? This is Detroit, by the way.
Those values with him day in and day out.
Fuentes looks at this audience and he's like, what the fuck? Where are these motherfuckers at my shows?
And you all knew him.
It looks like you're at a Kanye West concert.
For the rest of the country.
Holy shit.
You know that when this
oh my God.
City was coming out of bankruptcy, when the consultants creditors line their pockets.
I'm sorry. I'm just. It's. Anyway, they hate him. Okay? They hate him. I'm pretty sure the AFPAC, the America First rallies, are more diverse than these crowds, which is saying something.
She made. And this is going to become like relevant in a second, okay? If Nevada gets elevated.
Why is that destiny? Because minorities have unique issues that they feel like they need to be spoken to about those particular issues. And boiling everything down into class is like not, it doesn't speak to the issues that those people feel. Even if you have advantages due to class and disadvantages due to class, different groups of people are going to have different, experiences based on, we used to call this intersectionalism, but yeah. And then it really does feel like, I'm not trying to take anything away, okay? I love all of you so much, okay? But sometimes it is nice. It's nice to have like a struggle, okay? And white men on the internet are like the hardest pressed for struggles because you're doing okay. I'm not saying everybody's rich, but like if you're on the internet, you tend to be more educated, you tend to be whiter, you tend to be maler. Even our trans people tend to be more MTF instead of FTM. I don't know why, but just everything on the internet is just more masculine, more male, more white, more wealthy, more affluent. That just is. And then there's like, it feels like white people kind of go through phases sometimes looking for things to struggle over. So it was like ADHD and dissociative identity disorder and the random neurodivergent things. And then that wasn't cool. So then it was like non-binary stuff and being pansexual. And now it's like, okay, the class thing. And the class thing is so nice because the solidarity, you get to be, you as a 180,000 a year programmer working in Kansas City are just as oppressed as the, kid with 3 brothers and a crackhead mom in a single home that is fucking dealing drugs. You're in the same class now because you're both laborers, because you don't own a business, and you get to have the same struggles as that person now as a wealthy white dude. Oh my God, is that some powerful shit? Now Hassan is on your side. He's the same as you. That's awesome. When he talks to the volunteer firefighters, I'm closer to you guys than I am to Jeff Bezos.
Because the argument was, should South Carolina be first or should Nevada be first? Here was the argument that she made, and this is going to become like relevant in a second, okay? If Nevada gets elevated over South Carolina, it would be because of their Latino vote.
Let me get it. Fuck it. 1 second.
Politically.
Dude, I remember this debate. Where did this come from? We should have seen the signs.
For me to actually politically represent my interests.
I'm not. My point here ain't about criticizing your vote. It's that only 2 people were going to be president, and there are only 2 real paths to FBI.
No. But those are 2 different.
We should have seen the signs, guys. We should have seen the signs. Gross. Okay, Nathan left 2 Mountain Dews here. I'm drinking them. Ugh.
So you would be telling black voters that you matter less than brown voters. And I refuse to believe that our party wants to send any type of message like that. Now, what do you think that means? The explicit statement here is that black voters matter more than brown voters. That is unambiguously her argument here. And she's doing this like mob boss idpol rhetoric. You know, oh, that's a nice Democratic primary you got there. It would be a shame if somebody implied that your priorities were being motivated by a disinterest in representing the voice of black people, you know? Like, it's, you know what I'm talking about?
Keep in mind, too, this was after, and it's so funny because a lot of these guys came from, like, the same, like, woke people. This was after they did, like, maximum appeasement to black voters, too, with the whole BIPOC shit, which was just fucking, that was woke gone wrong, where it was like, we want to talk about minority issues, but we've broad-brushed minority issues so much that we feel like we're not really representing true people that are struggling anymore. So we're going to go ahead and invent this new thing called BIPOC, which is kind of like a way to talk about minorities without, like, having Asian people and they're fucking it all up. It's just like, okay, I guess. I don't know, man.
Out here, it's a very, like, threatening statement. You wouldn't want me to call you racist, would you? Hey, you wouldn't want me to throw the South Carolina Democratic Party into disarray by accusing the National Democratic Party of being racist, would you? I recognize this rhetoric in large part because I saw it from Hillary Clinton's campaign, and also I saw it from Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett is also currently engaged in a campaign of vaguely gesturing at the Democratic Party being racist because they didn't prioritize her over Tallarico. In other words, it's racial grievance politics. I'm just going to say this really, really flat.
Oh my God! Bruh. Dude, these people are like prime for the taking for like a real good conservative populist to hit them up. Oh my God, dude. Whoo! They're primed for it. These guys could be swept up by a right-wing movement so quickly.
Okay, I think the average black person in America is just probably about as motivated by racial grievances as any other racial group. Hispanics, Asian people, white people. That is to say, racial grievance politics plays a big role in their community, but the extent to which it plays a role...
Like, African-American issue. This is also another reason we went down this road, and it was the political correct shit. I'm sorry. And I blame partially the New York Times and everybody else for just being too woke on this. I think I was opposed to this from day one. Find out when the New York Times changed their fucking capitalization guidelines, calling it black issues and just changing everything to black because for some reason white people felt like African American was just like a bad phrase was fucking retarded, okay? African Americans have a very special history and a very special place in the United States. They have unique issues. They've contributed uniquely to the culture, and you're wiping all of that away by just calling them black people. Like immigrants from Africa have the same experience as people brought over who are descendants from slaves. And the idea that all of those issues can just be washed away with class stuff, like, I'm sorry, but there are too many African Americans in this country you're not going to be able to convince that of, but I don't know, we'll see.
Asian people, white people. That is to say, racial grievance politics plays a big role in their community, but the extent to which it plays a role is largely based on which political forces best appeal to them. I don't think that white grievance politics are that relevant to an individual white voter, even a Trump voter, on a case-by-case basis. But I think that as a group, white people are very susceptible to arguments that are oriented around white racial grievance politics. I think black people, Asian people, and Hispanic people are the same. For the most part, I think they're ordinary. I think that if they are appealed to heavily by candidates or causes that...
Most black people I have talked to about this feel weird about African American because they have no cultural connection to Africa. Well, then they should ask older people to explain to them. I guarantee you that the African American experience in the United States is a unique cultural experience that is not the same as a black immigrant's experience to the United States. Now, there is a slightly weird issue that happened where people did try to connect like some African experience to African American, and that is weird and that is dumb. I don't know why that happened. There was a brief period, and it's funny because this actually came before peak wokeness. There was a brief period where, like, if you watched like Hey Arnold, or if you were plugged into American culture and you were a white person, you got convinced that every single black person like secretly celebrated Kwanzaa, and apparently. The friend that I was hanging out with on Juneteenth told me that there are still like celebrations that will happen on like Juneteenth, where they'll be like black people and they'll be celebrating like the holiday in some areas, and they're like playing like African chants or music, and everyone's just kind of like, I guess, are we just supposed to listen to this? Like, I don't know why people get retarded about everything, but some issues are like tiptoed around so much that like people that are trying in good faith to have these conversations should be able to engage with it. Everybody shouldn't be tiptoeing around like making, because all it does is it lets the most retarded people like set the rules for everything. It's so fucking stupid. Yeah, I don't know. The African American denotes a black person who was brought over as a slave, and then the descendants of those black people. And they have a unique experience, history in the United States of America that is different from black immigrants. It is. I'm not saying that black immigrants don't experience racism or whatever, but they don't have the same experience. It's a different type of experience. Yeah, and you're not going to capture all of this by just talking about class. And it's not grievance politics necessarily to want your issues, I guess, addressed, but I feel like your voice is heard somewhere, you know?
Weaponize those racial grievance politics, things can get out of hand pretty quickly. Does that make sense? Does everyone understand the angle from which I'm coming at it? The problem is that black people in the higher ranks of the Democratic Party are essentially weaponizing black racial grievance politics as a cudgel against progressives. It's a form of...
Because progressives can't win with black people anywhere. Now, they can kind of win with Hispanics because Hispanics are half the Hispanic voting population are people like me who check the Hispanic ethnicity box, okay? Unironically, all right? But with black people, whoo, it's hard to make inroads with those motherfuckers, okay? It's really hard to make inroads with those motherfuckers. They hate Bernie, goddammit. They hate Bernie Sanders.
Democratic Party are essentially weaponizing black race.
But why not call black immigrants African Americans and call black people black Americans? And the American part of your term is supposed to denote like a thing about you. Like an African American is not an African. Just like, well, I guess we don't understand this. I guess never mind. Because I was going to say, just like if you're Italian American or Irish American, you're not Italian or you're not Irish. Even though I guess some Italian Americans and Irish Americans like to pretend they are, but you're not. It's not. It's a totally different like experience. And if you go to people in Ireland, if you go to people in Italian, and you go to the lands of Italian and the lands of Irishland, and then you tell them, hey, I'm Irish like you, I'm Italian like you, they say, no, motherfucker, you're American. Or maybe they'll say like Irish American or Italian American, but no. People in Italy don't view you the same. Much the same, yeah. It's just...
racial grievance politics as a cudgel against progressives. It's a form of ethno-narcissism that would be considered unacceptable in any other context.
Dude! Bro! This guy's about to dual stream with fucking Fuentes. All the race realist shit. Remember Professor Dave and that, well, Ashkenazi Jews are actually originating in Europe. We can see by the 23andMe genome tables.
Is that black people in the higher ranks of the Democratic Party are essentially weaponizing black racial grievance politics as a cudgel against progressives. It's a form of ethno-narcissism that would be considered unacceptable in any other context. Can you imagine a white person saying this? Like, imagine the white head of the Vermont Democratic Party saying, you be telling white people they matter less than brown voters if you don't select us first for the 2028 presidential primary. That would be insane. GOP says it. The GOP does occasionally say it. And we do call them racist, in fairness.
Do you understand? He's like, white lives matter. Or like, all lives matter. Well, because white people don't typically have the same, like a set of articulable grievances, unless you think there's like great replacement or something going on.
Or New Hampshire for a real example. Well, because New Hampshire is also a red state the way South Carolina is. Sorry. Does everyone understand the point that I'm making here? Rhetoric like this is unacceptable because it promotes racial infighting. It turns what should be a tactical consideration, how we structure the 2028 presidential primaries, into a politics of racial grievance, into an argument between which group matters most. This is very, very cynical and is largely being done to prop up these people's careers. Black people in America do not in any way, shape, or form benefit from South Carolina going first in the primary ticket. This is this woman's effort to weaponize race.
I mean... like, what you're basically saying is black people don't benefit by having their voices heard because reasons, I guess, or because the people trying to appeal to them in the South aren't going to actually be appealing to them. They're going to be playing grievance politics. I don't even know what, like...
participating as a way of promoting her career and her interests. Like, she benefits if South Carolina gets chosen first. Not the black people in South Carolina, but she personally. Does everyone understand what I'm getting at?
Nobody is going to understand. Like, nobody in the well, let's see. They can either have a primary where everybody in the state is like me, and they're going to have to appeal to issues that I care about, or they can go back to Iowa or New Hampshire.
Ethno-narcissism being weaponized by Democratic leaders, cynically weaponizing it.
Hutch and Destiny versus Pisco and Josiah on the 50 millionth fucking debate on... are they in our coalition? Are they in the tent? Well, we don't think the DSA is that bad, and we got to work with the communists, and it's okay. Meanwhile, in Camp DSA, guys, we got to kick the black people out. It's too much. The black people are not in the tent anymore, okay? We all agree Obama was a war criminal, okay? We're already halfway there. Michelle, Barack, and the rest of the blacks have got to go, all right? We're going to go pick up white working class voters. Let's go!
In an effort to promote their wedge causes in a way that sounds like it's anti-racism, but really is.
Don't black people prefer being called black Americans rather than African Americans because they don't consider themselves African, or rather it's a misnomer? I mean, some black people say that. I don't care. They're wrong. They're wrong. Listen, I don't care what you want to call yourselves. I'm just saying that African American denoted something particular about your ancestry, in particular about the experience you have in the United States of America. Black is as meaningless in some regards as white. It doesn't mean anything. Like a person from Kenya, I think Kenyans and Nigerians are like the highest median wages in the entire United States. It's like 35% of these motherfuckers come over with PhDs and shit. An African immigrant and an African immigrant family are just not going to have the same experience as people that were here for hundreds of years. It's just a different historical experience.
Very, 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 very bad. Jasmine Crockett does this all the time. Jasmine Crockett right now is implying that the Tallarico Democratic Senate campaign is racist. She's vague posting about it. This is really bad because if she manages to depress even a few percentage points of black turnout in Texas, it would be really, really bad for Tallarico. Now, Tallarico has not run a racist campaign. The people of Texas chose him over her because she fucking sucks. And we all know that if Tallarico had lost, he would not be sitting the campaign out and implying that she was an anti-white racist, even though she probably is. Definitely is, actually, I should say. Those comments she's made about white and brown people, pretty fucking bad. Certainly Tallarico.
Like, Vaush's comments here, this is the type of shit that has the Tallarico campaign struggling because the black voters who are in Texas see this type of stuff and they think that it's representative of where the campaigns are. I haven't seen any evidence of Tallarico or his campaign engaged in any weird racist anti-black stuff ever. I haven't seen that at all anywhere. But like, I know it's popped up a lot online. And I mean, just saying, looks weird.
Rico's not said anything like that. But what she's engaging in ethno-narcissism, right? A cynical appeal to her own racial identity as a marginalized person in an effort.
I like the ethno-narcissism, ethno-supremacy, Is Vaush actually racist or just brain dead? No, they're not racist. They're just, but in effect, they kind of are. They take a wacky path there, just like the anti-Semitism stuff. Like, they're not actually anti-Semitic or whatever, but the path that they take gets them functionally to the same spot.
To throw off the Democrats' chances in the general. That's what I'm talking about here. So with all of that being said, all of that lead up, and it's worth pointing out, by the way, I am now often accused of being like far left for pointing this out, but the stuff that I'm saying right now is identical to what I got in trouble for talking about back in 2020 and 21 when I was talking about black separatists or black nationalists who were doing the exact same thing, cynically weaponizing ethno-narcissism as a justification for abysmal politics and then accusing you of being racist if you pointed them out. This is that infamous Professor Flowers conversation where my position was no matter what, no ethnic group should be able to lead an ethnic cleansing of another ethnic group, which was my position. I still hold it to this day. But back then, I was accused of being right-wing for saying this. Basically,
even Palestinians shouldn't be allowed to conduct an ethnic cleansing?
What I'm saying is that ethnic grievance politics gives you room to make really, really, really bad arguments, regardless of which side you're on. It allows you to ignore the typical avenue of making political arguments in favor of cynically weaponizing accusations of bigotry as a way of like ad homing your way past the argument. Oh, you don't think South Carolina should go first? You're a racist. Oh, you don't think South African black people should be able to ethnically displace 6 million white Afrikaners? Oh, because you're racist. It's not a right or a left wing thing. Ethno-narcissism is just bad. You should not make political arguments off of the idea. You shouldn't be basing your political argumentation off of like appealing towards racial infighting within a group. Okay. It's exactly like Zionism? Yes. Zionism right now is, in America, the most prominent and most cynically weaponized example of ethno-narcissism, where far-right Jewish nationalists
Holy shit, the blacks are the Jews, and they're Ukraine! That's the team that I want to be on. I want to be on the team with the rappers, the bankers, and the dudes with the sick fucking tracksuits who can drink a lot of alcohol. That's my crew, okay? I want to be on that team.
Can go on media and just straightforwardly make arguments like, we have a right to this land because of the Torah, our religious right gives us the ability to kill, and people will treat it like a normal argument, and you're anti-Jewish if you disagree. Chuck Schumer himself, Democratic Senate Minority Leader, said that the reason for the fighting between Palestinians and Jews is because the Palestinians won't accept the Torah grants that land to Jews. Like, it's just racism, you know? It's just racism. Anyway, I'm sorry, that was a lot of lead up. So here's Jim Clyburn blaming black Americans for the 2024 presidential election. Remember, it's impossible for the Democratic establishment to fail voters. The voters can only fail the Democratic centrist establishment.
What lessons did you take from the Biden administration? Like political lessons. Like, was there any political lesson you think there is to take from an administration whose central goal was to stop Donald Trump's return? And here we are.
And he stopped it.
I mean, you stopped it and enabled, I think some would argue.
Well, when the white vote turned out 71% 2 years ago, and the black vote turned out 59%,
to be clear, like, let's just address this from first principles. The idea that black people are ever responsible for a Democrat losing to a Republican is insane. Black people are the most reliable Democratic voters by far. They are unbelievably consistent as a demographic in voting for Democrats. So for him to pull this card, to me, is a perfect example of how the Congressional Black Caucus does not represent or even care about black voters at all.
is like the most respected fucking maybe the black politician besides Obama. I think like in the United States. I don't even know how. I don't actually know if it was because of his aura and power, but he was like the only racial district that didn't get gerrymandered out. The entire fucking South after the Alito case, his stayed. They did not redistrict his state.
He's like one of the biggest pushers of this line, this racial grievance politics, and he immediately turns and blames the most pro-democratic demographic in America.
Whose fault that is?
I guess
only 59% of African Americans went to the polls 2 years ago.
It's tough for me personally to blame black voters for the last election more than it is to blame President Joe Biden.
That's the fact. It wasn't Joe Biden on the ticket. It was Kamala Harris on the ticket.
For 107 days after he decided
to on the ticket.
This is also like, and I can't speak for Brett Swallows, and I've told the story a million times, but this is like when we went down to Georgia to do the vote stuff, and we went door knocking, every single black voter, all the older black people, all the women that would come to the door, they'd already early voted, they knew where their voting place was, they knew everything, they were huge. It was like an incredibly important like civic responsibility for a lot of these older black people when it came to voting. None of them fucked around with it. It was really surprising to me.
I guess I just wanted to see if there was a clear political lesson you took from that moment and whether you think something applies in this kind of larger democratic rethink after. But I hear you. You're saying that you think it was a media problem. It was a branding problem. It was a candidate problem.
Dan, you really be saying blacks gave us Trump? Again, the reason black people don't show up at the polls is the same reason everybody else doesn't show up at the polls, because they're apathetic and feel disenfranchised by the options that they have. Black people, let's be real here. My argument right now is that it basically almost doesn't matter who wins elections because
I don't know. I mean, like, I'm happy, I guess. It works for me because it's just going to fuck their voting shit up. But, like, people, it's just so weird. I don't know. I feel like I have to go back to the drawing board and, like, make, like, really basic arguments about intersectionalism that these guys, I feel like they used to understand more or used to talk about more, but are just, like, completely brain dead now. Like, this sounds like every high school kid who's like, the only thing that actually matters is class. And nothing, no identity politics, all of that is actually fake bullshit. And it's all about class, guys. Let's fucking go.
The crash course that America is on is going to continue no matter what. Black people have been making this argument for decades. It's kind of like an Afro-pessimist sentiment. And for the most part, they've been right. No matter who wins, local, state, or...
That might be the least true statement that I have ever heard in all of American political analysis. Black people are absolutely, I know he didn't necessarily mean it, maybe, I don't know. Black people are absolutely not both sidesing our elections in the United States. Black people are fiercely loyal Democratic Party voters. Fiercely loyal. To pretend that black people think, now, he might be thinking of like the African immigrants that come over and do politics, or your Breonna Joy Grays, or your other types of like weirdo DSA socialist types of black people, or your young black college kids or whatever. But like most black people are fiercely, I mean, you can just go look at the breakdown in voting demographics.
Or federal, black people have continued to get fucked over. Like, the black community has not been enriched at all since the civil rights movement. The average black wealth in America is like $5 per household. Like, nothing has changed. They've been promised the world, the moon, time and time again. They even got their first black president, and nothing changed. Don't get me wrong. Republicans are still far more racist than Democrats. The problem is that the underlying forces that are ensuring continued black racism against black people, systemic deprivation, are much more fundamental than the top-level cultural issues we engage with, right?
True.
The George Floyd protest happened. George Floyd was murdered. BLM protest. Hundreds of millions of Americans participated in some form or another. What happened after BLM? Biggest protest ever, by the way. What happened after BLM?
They got their first black president. Bro! Damn!
Change for black people. Nothing. So I would say that black Americans have been given plenty of reason to be pessimistic and feel disenfranchised.
Yeah,
and you know what Kamala Harris was? She was a nothing candidate. If black people looked at Kamala Harris and thought she was a nothing candidate, they were right to think that. They were right to think that. It's correct. It's true. The Democratic Party continuously fails its voters and does a bad job advocating for them. Clyburn is a perfect example of this. Dude is like the most fucking entrenched deep state centrist fucker in the party, or at least one of them. He is the reason why the Democratic Party is the way it is, standing for nothing. And then he goes on a podcast and blames black people, for a Democrat not beating a Republican. Are you insane?
I didn't say that. The media had nothing to do with that 59%. If that 59% had been 69%, she would have won.
I guess, so is the argument that black people let Kamala Harris down?
Oh, in many instances, absolutely.
The idea that they did a bad job appealing to people never even occurs to him. It never even occurs to him because they hate
stupid.
You. It's like the number one thing a person should think about when running a campaign. How do I make people want to vote for me? But to them, it's not even a consideration. Not even never even crosses their mind.
You know it.
It's incredible. It's genuinely inhuman. It's inhuman I cannot imagine feeling this entitled to people's votes. I cannot imagine being as powerful and influential as fucking Clyburn and being so contented with my power that I will go on podcasts and blame black people.
You will never, ever, 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 ever understand. You will never understand how much progressives will never forgive black people for Bernie, okay? You'll never understand it, okay? That's a rage that very few people understand.
For a Republican, for Trump winning and never even consider the possibility that we might be doing a bad job appealing to voters. It is genuinely unfathomable to me.
You don't show up to vote. What are you doing?
Is there no valid reason why black voters could not have felt heard by the last Democratic election? Is there no valid reason that they would have?
There might be. I'd like to know what it is.
Fucking incredible. Totally incurious. Totally. It's your job to know. It's your job to know. Oh, I'd like to know. Oh, I've never heard any arguments for why Kamala Harris might have been a weak candidate. Would you like to share some with me? Oh, yeah, I'm like a DC insider and have been for nearly a fucking century. Could you share some? I've never heard any. He's so out of touch. Yeah, want to know how out of touch he is?
Clyburn is so out of touch. It's the non-binary, pansexual, furry market socialist on Vaush's stream that supported the jobless woman for the Seattle mayor, whatever, that woman. These are the people that are in touch with Black America. Yes.
About AI, there's so much that it's changing in terms of the future of work in our economy. Do you use AI? Have you ever used an LLM?
No.
Bro, I don't even know, man. Get me the fuck out of here.
Oh, somebody was telling me I ought to, but I never have.
No ChatGPT, no Claude for you?
Believe it or not, I didn't know what that was until about a week ago.
I want you to really stew on this, man. Really stew on it. I want you to really turn this one over in your head. I want you to imagine what the life must be like for a well-connected Democratic Party insider to not have heard what ChatGPT was until a week ago. I want you to really think about what that implies, about how much he cares about and pays attention to everything. Hasn't he voted on AI bills? Yeah, I guess he didn't know what they were. I mean, we already know that people who work, we already know that people who work in Congress don't read the bills they vote on, but like, he'll just admit it. He cares that little. He'll just admit it. He'll be,
One of the things you got to be careful of too, that I'm speaking a little bit of a turn, I guess, but like, there is, I've talked about this before. There's like different stages of understanding a person's like struggle. And sometimes it feels like people like wear the mask of understanding because they're trying to signal to a group that they belong there, or maybe even they think it's like what they're supposed to do, but they never like actually learn I guess actually have the empathy to understand the people's struggle. And sometimes I think it's why white progressives can get in trouble with like, sometimes there's a guy, like I've heard these complaints before. There's a white guy with a group of like black or Hispanic people, and they're engaged in like a little bit of like racy humor, but they think that like the positions that they have like means that they can get away with it because they're like the right political label and they virtue signal on the other things. But I don't think they realize that you need a high degree of like genuine empathy and understanding to reach this position of like you can fluidly like talk about or joke about stuff related to issues with these groups of people where people genuinely feel like you have some understanding of it. Like Vaush is this guy right now. It's
Gordon and Emily, this is Chris. Chris, this is Gordon and Emily Green.
Chris, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Chris. Nice to meet you indeed. Oh, that's quite a grip.
Thank you. You too, man.
You ever play golf?
Once. A few years ago. I wasn't very good.
Gordon was a professional.
It's like you're nice to black people because you're saying the right things, and it's like you're like signaling the right way, but it's like it feels like a thing that because the big problem with this type of signaling too, and I think people get a feel for this. The problem with this type of signaling too is that it can flip on a dime, where if the wrong thing happens, like you are losing that person completely. Where now they hate the black people because they didn't vote for Bernie. Low information voters, right? So it's just what are you gonna do?
The reason Trump won, black people. Kamala Harris ran a weak campaign. I haven't heard that before. AI? Yeah, I heard about that last week from my fucking great grandnephew. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's shocking. That means they watch Zero News and probably don't look at any intel or info. I've told you this before, but like people like this, a significant number of like very old senior Democratic insiders, mostly senators, they don't watch the news. They get all of their info from the consultants and special interest groups they've developed decades-long friendships with. They literally don't watch They don't watch the news. They don't know anything that's going on. Their bewilderment at the real world is in part sincere. They don't pay attention at all. They are not people like us. They are not normal people.
Which way?
Who are you talking there? Who are you talking about, man? Careful! Jesus Christ! Just slow your roll a little bit, man. You're going too far. You're not gonna be able to come back.
They don't watch the news. They don't know anything that's going on. Their bewilderment at the real world is in part sincere. They don't pay attention at all. They are not people like us. They are not normal people.
Which one?
Chat GPT or whatever it is.
You didn't know till a week ago. Wow, I'm jealous. You got yourself in a bubble.
That may sound strange to you. I didn't know what that was.
Okay, have you been to a data center or anything like that? Or no? Okay. I guess I'm wondering, like, with the speed of technological changes right now, with how much people are anxious about the ways AI and work might change because of it, how do you effectively legislate as a member who is distant from some of those technological shifts that are affecting folks' lives right now?
I have a great staff. You know, I wish I could know everything. Mm-hmm. I don't know everything. And I don't spend my time trying to learn everything.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do with this, really. I don't.
What I spend my time doing is trying to surround myself with people who do know stuff.
It's kind of funny. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know much about his like legislative record or whatever. I just know I think he's considered like the most important black legislator in American politics and has been for like the past like 15 years. But the answer that he just gave is technically the correct one. Nobody has time to learn everything. It's the same answer when we had Kinzinger on here a month or whatever ago. You can't possibly keep up with everything. You have your values and your beliefs, and your job is to pick who you believe are good staffers that can, chew their way through legislation and then give you answers that represent your beliefs to, help you make a good decision on what to vote for. Like that's basically how it's how it should work ideally. But I don't think Vaush is going to like that one.
What I spend my time doing is trying to surround myself with people who do know stuff.
Yeah, there you go. The consultants. There you go. Like
No, his staff. He said his staff, not his consultants. His staff.
He's so removed from reality that he doesn't even realize what he's admitting. It doesn't even occur to him that the average person might find it repellent, that he doesn't know what he's voting on and just surrounds himself with insiders who tell him what to believe.
His staff, Vaush.
Yeah, he has no idea how bad this looks.
Vaush.
He has no idea. He has no clue whatsoever. It's not even, it's a totally different world. Like, this is the bourgeois capital democratic equivalent of an aristocrat walking through a village and talking to proles or peasants and just asking them about how they enjoyed their last feast or whatever. It's the summer solstice. Did you not enjoy the festivities? Oh, surely you laid out a golden pheasant for everyone at your house to do. Talking to people who are wearing like linen potato sacks for clothing or whatever. Like that's the equivalent of this. And you mock and you laugh, and then all the peasants stew in their hatred, but no, there's nothing they can do about it. But like this is that. The difference is that old-timey aristocrat really didn't have much of a choice but to interact with other people in a social class. Whereas Clyburn can just open a computer and learn about the whole world, and he chooses not to. It is worse than the aristocrats.
I know how to legislate. I know how to build relationships. And I hire people to bring knowledge into the game that I can put to practice.
Sorry, I wanted to talk about ethno-narcissism. There's a big overlap here. I feel like over the past, especially year, my big ideological war has been one internally within the Democratic Party against anti-democratic sentiment in the party. Like my pitch essentially is the reason Democrats are so weak on fighting Trump is because they have no interest in doing so. None whatsoever. People like Clyburn have no interest in fighting Trump meaningfully, because not only because they're ideologically not really opposed to Trump, but because they're so weak and stupid they wouldn't even know how if they wanted to. In my mind, what I'm fighting for is a return to liberal democracy as opposed to just like managed corporate democracy. A system where people get in on patronage, seniority, and cynical appeals to ethnic politics. I feel like I'm basically like championing liberal values here to an extent, to a democratic system that does what it says on the tin. And I think this overlaps heavily with the ethno-narcissist bit a little bit. The idea that like the centrists in the Democratic Party are perfectly comfortable elevating ethno-narcissism, especially from like the Congressional Black Caucus, because they're aware of the fact that it's often used to weaponize cults of personality surrounding senior members rather than like an actual Democratic outcome. To that note, like Jim Clyburn endorsed Haley Stevens just a couple of days ago and campaigned with her.
Voters overwhelmingly oppose corporate and special interest funding, but the Black Caucus has long been corporate aligned. You yourself has been one of the biggest receivers of farmer money, but 85% of Americans support.
Like, if you think that these people actually represent Black Americans, I think you're delusional. Or at least I'd ask you to check your priors on this. Do you think that this guy represents Black America? Or do you think the guy who cares about workers' rights, Abdul El Sayed, the Arab guy who has property in Dubai, coming from a multi-millionaire family, who got his medical degree just so that he could pick up his master's in epidemiology and then pretends to be a doctor? That's the man of the people, okay? He's the one that really knows what's going on with the people, all right? The average Black American is politically pro-corporate. Don't you think it's odd that the Congressional Black Caucus is overwhelmingly represented by conservative pro-corporate like AIPAC stooges? Do you think that represents the will or the best interest of the Black Democratic electorate? Or
Ask Clyburn his thoughts on Israel.
Do you think there might be something a little more cynical
or MLK
going on here? Candace Owens called attention to this phenomena, but she's a fucking Nazi grifter, so
oh my! What the fuck? Holy shit! Leaving the Democratic plantation. That's what he's talking about. That's what Candace Owens is talking about. The plantation. She used to help blacks escape the plantation of the Democratic Party. Oh my God.
Electorate? Or do you think there might be something a little more cynical going on here? Candace Owens called attention to this phenomena, but she's a fucking Nazi grifter, so who cares about her analysis? She still pointed it out correctly, though. The idea that the Democrats take black votes.
You gotta hand it to Candace Owens. The black Democratic voter plantation. That was hot fire. She was spitting with that one.
So who cares about her analysis? She still pointed it out correctly, though. The idea that the Democrats take black votes for granted, so they weaponize them against other groups. They know black voters are going to turn out, so they use them as the first shield against progressives.
Legislation that will end dark money. Is the CBC on the wrong side of this?
No. You know, and as well as I do, that no white person in this country came out of slavery. I'm not that far removed from it. I know how my parents...
Oh my God, I'm just waiting for the... How long ago? Come on. How long ago? I'm waiting for it. Oh my God. We have wage slavery today, and you dare talk about slavery of the past?
Grew up. They didn't grow up with wealth. They can pass that wealth on to their children because they never had it. I serve with people here who are...
Oh, your parents were slaves? I didn't know you were that old. Oh, we are slaves together with the corporations. This is the final boss of IDPOL.
Multi-millionaires.
Why do you take so much PAC money? Because we were slaves or something. Type shit. What does this have to do with anything? With racial grievance politics, anything could be your argument.
But today, nobody is growing up with wealth.
And if they decide I'm not going to take any kind of corporate PAC money because my mom and daddy can write the check.
What?
So we're supposed to stay out of politics because we don't have the family wealth to support it? Or do we sit down and find common ground? And let me tell you, you mentioned Farmer. I would challenge you to find me one...
The argument here he's making genuinely is that black people should be allowed to accept super PAC money because it's reparations. That's unironically the argument being made here. We are materially deprived due to the history of slavery, which is true. That's why we should accept money from conservative PACs and corporations that perpetuate the economic conditions that keep black people in the dirt. It's not a rational argument. What it is racial grievance politics. Because what he's implying here is that if you have a problem with him accepting a fuck ton of pharma money, it's because you're anti-black. Oh, you have a problem with Jim Clyburn, a dinosaur, accepting millions of dollars in corporate PACs and APAC money? Oh, what? Do you not respect the fact that black people have been historically materially deprived in America? Why are you so anti-black? Just say you hate black people.
Will vote I have ever cast that Farmer supported and my constituents...
Just as a heads up, black people weren't just materially deprived. Okay, they were also fucking slaves and weren't allowed to fucking vote. Okay, I understand that our material analysis, okay, can only go so far. I appreciate that, but it wasn't just material deprivations, okay, that impacted this group of people historically. All right,
you ain't gonna find it. So you must ask, why do I get so much support from Farmer? Because I am the biggest proponent of medical research that you're gonna find here.
Damn,
I'm sure.
It ain't about voting the big pharma. It's about voting for the future health.
Damn.
Of people with heart disease, diabetes, cystic fibrosis, all of these things that kill people that I'm trying to find cure for.
Platitudes. The idea that pharma companies give money to candidates who are most anti-heart disease is pretty funny, though.
True, actually. It's just college kids with a good heart that find cures for diseases, and viewers of Vaush's stream, I guess. Yeah. All these big corpos are fucking evil.
Why is massive pharma? Why is Moderna and Pfizer giving you so much money? Oh, it's because I'm anti-heart disease. That's the reason why. That's totally the policy they're giving me money to support. The anti-heart disease policy. That's what's happening here.
That's all it is.
Yeah, you're saying there's no daylight between your constituents and those votes you were taking. But I do want to go back to your earlier point because it is important to say, and I want to acknowledge that black candidates often do not come from the same amounts of personal wealth that a lot of other members of Congress have. I think that's an important true point. The ability to raise money is often more difficult. But I mean, theoretically, the CBC or others could advocate for public funding of elections. They could advocate for small dollar numbers and people raising money through that. It's not just...
you could just believe in democracy. You could raise your money through grassroots donations by soliciting the support of the voters. Nah.
Oh, every single black person just needs to be a fucking comedian, a stooge that can do national level politics and fundraise. We just need 300 AOCs that are all trying to do small dollar donations for their campaigns because everybody can do that. Yes, true. I want every single person running for a representative seat to go hop on the fucking national news and start to fundraise from wealthy kids in California. Yes.
Saying, like, aren't there other avenues that they could take that will put them more...
Funnily enough, you know, if you want to see people fall out of alignment with the people in their district, they're probably more likely to fall out of alignment trying to appeal to national level fundraising than to just taking money from PACs. Because if you're going to try to raise small dollar donos, you're going to have to do something to get those people to vote for you. And they might, or to donate to you. And they might not necessarily donate to you if you're only talking about or trying to appeal to issues within your district. So it's not even really a good argument for keeping the political people aligned to their districts, but you know.
Aligned with a Democratic base that's increasingly against corporate money.
We do.
Okay, all right, I hear you.
Phenomenal. Truly phenomenal. Look at the donor list to his foundation. Listen, man, he's just anti-heart disease, okay? He's just anti-heart disease. What is this? I'm sorry.
Who in it?
Okay, off to a good start.
Who had the slightest inclination to vote for Mondami. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. You sick. Mondami had a celebration down at City Hall of all the immigrants.
Holy shit. Do you see the horseshoe? Do you remember when Fox News would nonstop run clips of Obama's pastor, of Reverend Wright?
Where governments lie, God does not lie. Experiments put them in the lowest paying jobs, put them outside the equal protection of the law.
My millennials will remember.
Kept them out of their racist bastions of higher education and locked them into positions of hopelessness and helplessness. The government gives them the drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America. No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible for killing innocent people.
Uh-oh.
Down there. No, here's a man
there he is.
That hates the Constitution and that which makes us Americans. He's a Muslim, for crying out loud. He's a jihadist at core. His wife is a lesbo jihadist, Hamas supporter.
I just want to say this guy's not even connected to Clyburn in any way, right? Like, it is a choice to put this black pastor in this YouTube video and on the screen after doing the Clyburn interview and then looking at the Clyburn donors and then just watching a random crazy black pastor. I don't know anything about this guy, but okay.
And that which makes us Americans. He's a Muslim, for crying out loud. He's a jihadist at core. His wife is a lesbo jihadist, Hamas supporter, intifada believer. Here you nigga talking about Mondami gonna give us a free bus ride. Hell, it doesn't matter if they're handing out free sandwiches in hell. I ain't going.
Oh, guys, I'm really sorry. I know this isn't the point here. I understand that his politics are indistinguishable from that of a racist Republican, but I have to draw attention to the fact that, and you can take this as a huge L for white people, he's so much funnier than any white person with this politics would be. Like, he's humor mogging the fuck out of, what's his face from the Boondocks? That guy wouldn't be funny if he was white. Yeah, Uncle Ruckus. Dude wouldn't be funny at all if he was white. If he was just some fat white racist fuck, it'd be like, oh, great. He's a fat white racist fuck. But Ruckus is funny as shit. You know?
You crazy? You get a free bus ride. Don't get a free bus. Get your ass a job. Get a job. Go to work.
I don't even know, bro.
Oh, my God.
We're just...
Free bus ride. I always want something free. He's our boy. All you got to say to get it is say, we got free food. We got free grocery stores. You
holy shit, I haven't... What? Holy fuck, this guy's so fucking funny, dude. Holy shit.
Do it, Vaush.
Tell us.
Should have seen a nigga jumping up and down.
Oh,
don't
fuck.
Work, don't got a job, can't hold a job, ain't got no money, don't have no security. But Mondami gonna give us a free food. Damn, I don't need you to give me no free food. I buy my own. There's something wrong with black folk. This got Moses in trouble. You think I shopped him? Sell out.
Oh my fucking God. I'm sorry. I don't even know if that was relevant to the segment that we're doing right here.
Well, I mean, this guy's black and so is Clyburn, so it's kind of relevant, right? Make sure to put it in the YouTube video.
God, that's, oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm trying really hard to take, because like, this is all really, really bad politically.
Yeah.
By the way, Clyburn endorsed Clarence Thomas for the Supreme Court. Did he really? Wait, did he really? Clarence Thomas, the most hit-the-right Supreme Court justice?
Commissioner Clyburn. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a pleasure for me to be here today to present testimony in favor of my good friend Clarence Thomas.
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I actually didn't know that.
I've known Clarence for 10 years, and I consider him to be a personal and professional friend.
At what point do you begin to question whether or not this person should have a right to be a kingmaker in democratic politics?
That right needs to go to Bernie Sanders because he speaks for all Americans.
You know? Like, at what point do you go, I think that you might have found out PV was responsible for 20% of all the phone bank dials made up by half American heroes? That is awesome. Holy shit. Yeah, PV, you got to post more of your, like, phone bank dubs, because PV has been running up some crazy phone banking numbers for some of these candidates. Hey, get in on Abdullah Syed. I know there's, like, so many people are canvassing for Abdullah Syed that it's difficult to, like, crack the 10% margin or whatever, but, like, I want him to win by Assad numbers, so get in on there, okay? We had a historical number of... Don't read that aloud, but I can't call it anything else. Mr. Wynn, you can't say that. We assume... If you are black and you are in chat, I know you want to say really funny shit, but you have to remember that everyone is assumed white in the live streaming political... If I was like a black YouTuber doing watch-alongs to Naruto episodes, you could say N-word soft day in chat because everyone would assume you're black. But we are... This is a very white boy political live streaming news coverage channel. You are all assumed white. I know it's not fair. I know it's not fair. I know it's not fair. You can't say it. You can't say it. Oh my God, man. I'm sorry. I didn't realize he fucking called Clarence Thomas his good friend. Well, okay. Let's round this off. Hold on. Let's round this off with a clip that got so many people. Clarence Thomas also weaponized Deadpool. Yep. His campaign called the sexual harassment allegations against him high-tech lynching, so Clyburn's right at home here. Listen, my position on this has been consistent for as long as I've been a live streamer, okay? If a person is using their demographic identity as a way of skirting past legitimate arguments, that is a massive red flag. The average person, the average regular human being, does not have consistent political views. People have biases, people have emotions, people have irrational beliefs that they construct political arguments around. People don't discover normative ethics and then build up their positions from first principles. It's very rare that people do this. Almost everyone just has a set of vague, generalized notions that they then build arguments around like a cocoon, okay? Most people are like this, politician or otherwise.
I've never seen this comic before, but can Congress people compare accepting PAC money with the same way streamers believe they ethically select their sponsors? The reality is like, you should have positions as a politician, and then if there are people that want to support you because of your positions as a politician, then let them support you. Who the fuck cares? The reason why progressives try to purity test so hard around this, campaign contributions and shit, is because they don't really run any local political shit. They run all of it as like these national level popularity contests. And when you're running like national level popularity contests, you can afford to have like a no corporate PAC money, no PAC position, because all of you're able to raise an ungodly amount of money through these small dollar donuts and shit. Like, what was this guy bringing up? I wonder what election cycle this PAC money was for. Like, I'm sure this guy has raised a lot of money, but I'm just looking at some of these top line numbers. Like, this is donations from 2011 to 2021. And I know he's raised probably millions, Clyburn has. But, like, just on here, we raised more in our little DGG fundraiser. We raised, like, $280K, I guess, then, and like all of these donations together on this page look like they're under $1 million for his like 10 years of donating from all these big companies or whatever. And again, I'm sure he's like raised other money. Oh, this is for a foundation or whatever. I'm just saying that if you're trying to raise money through like national level stuff when it comes to donations, I think you can outraise what a lot of these representatives would get if they were trying to get like PAC money or whatever. But you can't replicate that at every single level. So I think that because of how viral and online a lot of the progressives are, they try to gatekeep around this. Like, you have to raise your money through small dollar donors and shit. But
this is a very white boy political live streaming news coverage channel. It's Thomas's good friend. Well, okay, let's round this off. Hold on. Let's round this off with a clip that got so many people. Clarence Thomas also weaponized Deadpool. Yep. His campaign called the sexual harassment allegations against him high-tech lynching, so Clyburn's right at home here. Listen, my position on this has been consistent for as long as I've been a live streamer, okay? If a person is using their demographic identity as a way of skirting past legitimate arguments, that is a massive red flag. The average person, the average regular human being, does not have consistent political views. People have biases, people have emotions, people have irrational beliefs that they construct political arguments around. People don't discover normative ethics and then build up their positions from first principles. It's very rare that people do this. Almost everyone just has a set of vague, generalized notions that they then build arguments around like a cocoon, okay? Most people are like this, politician or otherwise.
Careful.
It's very, very, very common to use your demographic identity as an excuse to avoid a real argument. Men do this all the time. Women do this all the time. Whites, blacks, Hispanics do this all the time. The main difference is in how politically effective these arguments are and to what end they are used. You understand? So white racial grievance politics is by far the most dangerous racial grievance political bloc in America.
Why?
But that doesn't mean it's the only one. These arguments are by default bad. They are dangerous by their nature. It's why I've always called out racism from black people and sexism from women. Because I think the arguments themselves are bad.
Hell yeah.
Not because I think it's only bad when being done by the dominant power group. It's most dangerous when being done by the dominant power group. But it's always bad. Let me round this around here at this very popular clip. At a Haley Stevens event just a couple of days ago, a Farmington school board member showed up and attracted a lot of drama. Big supporter of Haley Stevens here. And Haley Stevens is, at least according to her, a big friend of the Michigander black community. Oh, this one? Yeah, you've probably seen the clip before. But I feel like this is a good way to cap off where racial grievance politics end. I want you to ask yourself if this sounds like a Democrat to you.
Oh, yeah. So we're here with Angie Smith, and you're from Farmington.
Hi, I'm Angie Smith. I'm from Farmington Public Schools. Top vote-getter for Farmington Public School Board. Been on the board 11 years. I am supporting Haley Stevens because she's that candidate. We need someone that can represent all of us, not just one race, but all races. Haley has done great work in Farmington and in Farmington Hills. She knows what she's doing. And anytime you can go to a Democratic convention and be booed and walk from behind a podium and stand there while you're being booed and things thrown at you, that's our person. So let's vote August 4th for Haley Stevens. Thank you.
Thank you. When you say, not just for one, what do you mean by that?
Well,
you feel the other candidate is...
The other candidate seems to be he doesn't work a room. You have to know how to work the room. Don't come out speaking only Arabic. Don't come out with your Arabic music on. Represent everyone. My DNA is my DNI. Well, my DI, I'm
Oh shit, I got fake news. Hold on. I heard that part of this clip before. I didn't hear the part before. It's definitely not like the most like politically correct statement or whatever, but in context it actually makes a bit more sense what she's saying here. It sounded before like she was just kind of racist against Arabs, which depending on where you're at in the US, I mean, believe it or not, black people and Hispanic people have their racisms. But this sounds more like I'm trying to think. It sounds mean, but like it's like a land acknowledgement thing. Like if you come out and you're like trying to play up some, like if you were trying to appeal to people in a certain city or in a certain district or whatever, and you come out with like a kafaya and you're playing like fucking Palestinian music or some shit. I don't know if he actually did that. Maybe I'll say he didn't do that and she's like playing up some shit. But yeah, it probably would make people feel a little bit weird. Like I don't know what performance this is right now. Like this doesn't feel like it's meant for me as a voter. It feels like it's meant for some other crowd, But I don't know if that actually happened. I haven't seen that video.
music on. Represent everyone. My DNA is my DNI. Well, my DI. I'm a mother of a lesbian. I'm Puerto Rican and Cherokee with a grandfather that was a white man from Ireland. Represent us all. Don't just represent one ethnicity and one race.
So I feel like this is a really good cap off here because the framework of the stuff she just said right there was progressive. Don't just prioritize one race, advocate for everyone. Don't just prioritize one race. That's nominally progressive rhetoric. But the shit she actually said was racist as fuck. Don't just come out here speaking Arabic with your Arab music. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck I don't even know if I've ever heard Abdullah Syed speak Arabic. I don't know. Maybe at some point. I don't like what an insane. Yeah, it is the picture perfect equivalent of Fox News broadcasters saying, I don't support racism. I support anti-racism. Just pull your fucking pants up like the rest of us. It's 1-to-1. 1-to-1.
It's like, it's not, and I think the issue is like Vaush is the thing that I was saying earlier, where you can get like kind of white people that like understand the words that they have to say to signal that they understand like oppression and minorities or whatever. But then, I mean, like when you say shit like that, like I don't know what I'm supposed to think about your political engagement. Like that's just kind of fucking retarded. Like I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah. Last one. This guy's insanely racist. It's a photo, so obviously we can't keep looking at too raw, too real. The dude is literally a Mossad psyop. Okay.
I think there was a big video where people were playing Arabic music and booing Haley. Is that true? Blink me.
I know. People get mad at me for it. I'm not. But it is objectively true that Mao Zedong and his contributions to global affairs, to history, is plenty. He is a great man of history.
Oh my god, dude. This fucking toxic fuck will be
Our
the downfall.
greatest foreign adversary now is the People's Republic of China. Okay? There would be no People's Republic of China without Mao Zedong. There it is. That's proof in the pudding. This doesn't mean that you subscribe to everything that took place in the assessment of Mao Zedong. Mine is
everything.
Not dissimilar to that classic trope that I deploy every now and then that I paraphrase and mess up.
Yes. He's so politically savvy.
What was it like if Mao Zedong had passed away in 1960? He would be regarded as one of the greatest minds of all time.
True, Hassan. I don't know about you guys, but Mao Zedong.
I'm trying to find the quote.
He's in my tent. He's in my tent.
Give it to you correctly. Oh yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
Had Mao died in 1956, his achievements would have been immortal. Had he died in 1966, he would still have been a great man, but flawed. But he died in 1976. Alas, what can one say? Chen Yun, a leading Chinese Communist Party official under Mao and Deng Xiaoping. This is a fair assessment of, Mao's contributions in general. This is also closer to the contemporary Chinese assessment as well. It sometimes changes with the attitudes, with the cultural attitudes, with the political modes of governance, where, sometimes they lean heavily into Mao.
Mm-hmm.
It's not slanderous by any means.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There were many failures within the Great Leap Forward attempts that led to crises, many deaths, many more deaths than like many excess fatalities. Cultural revolution, obviously, as well, especially led to many failures as well, many setbacks. But ultimately, the reason why 1.4 billion Chinese people do not have the same assessment of Mao Zedong as do Americans is for one reason and one reason only. It's because without Mao, there is no People's Republic of China.
Glorious. Thank you.
You don't have to like modern China.
But you have to respect the hustle.
Okay? You don't have to like the Communist Party of China to learn important lessons from Chinese history, to learn important lessons from what they're doing that we could apply here, adjusted to our own material conditions. And you certainly don't have to like the People's Republic of China to recognize that Mao's contributions to the world was plenty. With mass harassment campaigns that take place with Asmongold or antagonism born out of the way XQC treats the mere mention of my name with regular frequency.
What does that mean? Who's
So-
that?
27 months.
He's
I didn't say anything.
such a fucking baby, dude. God, he's so bitch made.
I'm always fair in my assessment of things.
I don't expect people.
I mean, chat. I said it before. I said it again. I don't give a fuck. Chat, I have no actual, real, big bad blood. Just come out saying that it was a fucking chocolate. It's not that hard to say. I mean, okay. Let me give you the timeline. Chocolate comes out. Internet starts to agree that yeah, it's my shot color, and some couple are saying it's not. Okay, and then Ludwig says, you know what? it actually kind of probably is. Because, of course, all the internet is on one side, and he wants to be on that side as always. Cool. And he says that, right? Then, of course, whatever happens, then he's still on that side, right? Then, I have a talk with him. He shows me something that is absolutely what we all were thinking that it was, right? I didn't have the screenshot. I didn't screenshot it because I don't want to be a weirdo, right? Absolutely is exactly what I was still talking about. What we showed, everything it was correct. Then I made him in real life, blah blah, and then he comes back from TwitchCon and he flips 100%. He flips a 180 for no reason, and then it's like I don't get why. And somehow I guess that's not enough for Hassan. It has to be more. It has to be. Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know why he would say that. I love it. I mean, he 180 to save him. Is that not enough?
No, it's not enough.
Let me show. Tell us what he showed you. Okay.
What?
I will be clear about it.
He's gonna say it?
It was in private, and you guys know how I feel about DMs or whatever. I hate leaking DMs. Okay. I'm not even leaking the DM. I was just talking with him off stream.
Okay.
And he asked me not to show what he's gonna show. I'm not gonna show it. Because I didn't take a screenshot because I'm not a fuckhead. Okay. But he showed me what was absolutely 100% what Hassan actually had before he changed it, right? Which was the device up close, pictured in real life, with the tape over it, with the outer layer that you can absolutely see of the round port on it, which was
Where's
known
Dan?
and is still known as the only model that have that circle port were ones that were capable of delivering shock. That's it. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The actual device that has the plastic or the round thing, like the port or the whatever, right? Those can absolutely all shock. None of them can't. All of them can. And it had it on it with tape over it. Bang. Not the prong one. In between both sides of the prongs, there was like a charging port or whatever the fuck it was. That port only is applied on the ones that can shock, and it did have it. It was just marked with tape over it.
The
Boom,
debunker
and
strikes again.
And I said, okay, look, this is that, and look on the internet. None of them has this, and I showed it to him. He said, oh, okay, and then he flipped.
the Odyssey yet? You Odyssey D's nuts.
The debunker strikes again, guys. Stephen Crowder made a video titled Case for Fascism. Yeah, I see. I don't care. Crowder's a fucking retard. I'm gonna go watch it tomorrow. What is this?
My greatest concern right now is that the state of Israel is losing support all across the political spectrum here in the U.S.
Oh, no.
And I believe that
Why does that concern you?
I think we're leaving a vacuum on the left and the progressive wing to speak to this criticism in a way that is in line with our values, to where people like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, who are raging anti-Semites and white supremacists and Christian nationalists, are pretending to care about Palestinian safety when really it's just masking their overt hatred for Jewish people.
You're singing my song.
And if we are not presenting our vision of what we believe in with our democratic values that extends not just to the Palestinian people, but to the Israeli people and to the Jewish people, you know, that land has a distinctly Jewish character, a distinctly Christian character, a distinctly Muslim character.
Yeah.
It's a land that has seen bloodshed for centuries. And we, I think, are doing a disservice to the people of that region by not offering our progressive vision in a way that isn't immediately swatted down as, you know, bigoted or anti-Semitic. And that's going to require a lot of conversations, a lot of hard conversations. There will be things that we learn, things that there will be missteps and mistakes made. But as long as we're continuing that conversation, we are at the very least presenting an actual vision in line with our values that can combat and hopefully silence a lot of the anti-Semitism that's coming from the right, because we're leaving that vacuum wide open right now if we are afraid to have these conversations.
Okay. What? Okay, yeah, I see Twitter. All right. Anything else? TTS. Oh. Okay. Good.
Ooh,
Okay.
3847405048054080540805408004.
Okay.
Or 845858 JFJ 8558.
Okay. Oh shit! Vaccine activated.
294-396-328-578-4438-034.
Hey, long time no see. I'm writing a report on my former friend and abuser Hassan, whom I understand you had a brief but fiery friendship with too. Multitudes of other victims have come out to talk about this, including and Kaya Stop.
Hey, Destiny. As a long-time viewer, I was pretty disappointed in your response to the Professor Dave video and claims about your ties to Israel. Have you made a broader response to these claims somewhere?
Mr. Borelli, thank you for the late night stream. Oh shit, hang on. Kaya Place. Anyways, I'm gonna go snark my neighbors. From the river to the sea, my apartment will be free. Inshallah.
Luke Beasley versus Dean Withers woiled up twerk off ?
What happens when a man wins every debate but loses every marriage? Call this the destiny paradox. Despite decades of research, no manifesto has ever been long enough to solve it.
Oh, yes, Hassan Puka is right. China love Mao. Mao no kill nobody or accident.
What is
China
who is
government
this?
no authoritarian. China government tolerate dissent among the Chinese people. CIA lie. Muslim ethnic group in China live in paradise.
Oh, mate! Metalloid sword here! Carkin axed, what gravy Gomish doing these days? GSN.
Amazing. I can be way more retarded than Mippernountain. Negative $74 is still pretty hard to beat. Amazing.
Barbar.
Okay. Are we good?
Clear up what's... There's been a lot of chatter online, so I did want to just clear up what seems like a misunderstanding that some people might have.
Okay, help us.
Basically, in relation to the Ethan lawsuit stuff.
Yeah.
It is our application to enforce, and if the judge does not side with us, then the lawsuit continues. That's basically the way to understand it. That's like the simplest terms I could put it in.
Application to enforce what? I don't know.
So that people can understand. There's been a lot of chatter online, so I did want to...
Application to enforce a settlement agreement? Thanks. Yeah, like, why not like bring your lawyer on, or just like have the motion or whatever you're discussing, and like bring that. It's to enforce the settlement, basically. Well, yeah, but I don't know why nothing that they're saying is clarifying anything.
Hopefully this is full screen. Is it full screen?
Jesus Christ. Professor Dave is deleting Lonerbox's comments.
There's Rocky again.
He's like live fighting, dude. Damn, so does he just, is that like his normal behavior? He posts a video and then he fights for his life in the comment section forever? Or like, how normal is that? I feel like the guy's got some, demons, maybe. There's no way this number is real. He's deleted 861 comments, and then 3,416 have gone with the thread. He's deleted 937 comments on their own. Over almost 1,000 comments? And then he's made 741 comments himself. The last comment was 2 minutes ago. Bro, is that correct? 2 minutes ago? Or no, wait, maybe this is updated 2 minutes ago. His last comment, I think, was an hour and a half ago, maybe. Jesus Christ. Destabilization and resource extraction in the Middle East. What the fuck? People say this all the time. What the fuck resources are you extracting from fucking Israel? This country is so resource fucked, they don't even have water. What is the... My name, Masand. But actually... Chris Cuomo has an uncomfortable moment on air as he sets Eric Trump off into a rage.
I think that it is fair to say it looks like the administration is going after its political opponents now and doing exactly what you say you oppose.
What, Comey? Because I mean, it seemed very clear to me in the congressional testimony. I don't know, just watching it, I certainly seemed like he lied to me. I mean, I'm also wondering what an FBI director is doing, taking memos from the FBI and leaking them to the New York Times. I mean, Chris, I'm a guy that hopes that the FBI director would be keeping planes from flying into buildings, you know, keeping our country safe, keeping the Western way of life safe. Instead, this guy is, you know, communicating every single day with the New York Times. I mean, I'd hope a lot better. But I find it so ironic that you're literally one that's pushing back on the weaponization of government when the very same people that were coming after us,
came after your brother,
you know, went after your brother, you know, like hounds. I mean, they did everything they could to destroy his governorship. They did everything they could to destroy his life. They did everything they could to destroy you. I sat in that same seat. The only difference is my last name wasn't Cuomo. My last name was Trump. They were trying to destroy my father. And by doing that, they were trying to destroy me, and they were trying to destroy the Trump organization. They were trying to take all our assets and strip our name off of every building in New York City. You've been on the receiving end of the very same people that I've been on the receiving end of. And so to play coy with me as if this isn't happening in the United States of America just seems ironic and foolish given what you've been through more so than anybody.
Hold on a second. What did you just say that you think I'm doing? I'm asking you questions about whether or not if something is wrong, it is also wrong to do the same thing when you get back in power, which certainly happened the first time the administration came in. You went right after Biden. And I don't mean you weren't part of the administration. I'll get to you in a second in terms of what's going on right now. But if you think I'm playing coy, you don't know me as well as you should.
Chris,
I'm not playing coy. I know what happened to me,
Chris,
Eric.
I'm saying
that
and it was
what is
horrible
happening now looks like what was done to you. That's why I'm asking the question.
Did we raid Biden's home? You know, did we try and bankrupt Biden? Did they come after us? Did we weaponize every AG and DA, against Biden? Do we do that against Hunter Biden, who had a laptop from hell, pictures of cocaine, illicit drug use, prostitution? Did we do that? Did we make up a dirty dossier about Biden? Did they try and destroy Biden's marriage?
Yeah. I mean, like, for all of this stuff was spotlighted.
Did we make up
all of their
stories that
life was
Biden had
spotlighted.
secret servers in the basement of his home, communicating
You did with Hillary
the Kremlin
Clinton.
in Russia? Did we strip Biden off the ballot of multiple states? Did we take Biden off of Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and try to silence his voice so he couldn't communicate? Did we put Biden in a courtroom every single day? 91 felony counts that have all been overturned for my father now, right? For nonsense, to try and keep him off of a campaign trail.
That have been overturned? You mean the cases that were dropped?
To try and destroy his life? Did we do any of that?
He mad. Did you hear anything back from your tweet calling out Milo Zionism during the British podcast? No. All right. I love you. Be careful. Stay safe. Be careful.